All right, y'all, let's jump right in. Today we want to introduce the new topic of becoming a spiritual integration specialist. From a spiritual perspective, the world that we live in is making us choose. Is there's a separation going on between wheat and tares, between authentic and artificial. So as we progress, we will have a choice to make to whether we proceed as spiritual integration specialists or whether we continue to operate in the flesh integration specialist, which is artificial. So the war or the separation that is now upon us is one where you are required to operate in one type of a disposition. Either one of the dispositions of both opportunities work. You can continue to operate in a artificial integration capacity, or you can continue to operate or start to operate more in a spiritual or authentic capacity. So where we are at as a planet is artificial intelligence is now the new God, and it is replacing the algorithm of love, joy, peace, gentleness, meekness, and self-control with a new algorithm. The new algorithm is now based upon LLM or large language models that are being created by programmers. These programmers may or may not have a spiritual or a loving disposition in place. In other words, when we look at where we are at as a frequency range, we are in a space where we have to choose between what I call the alpha code, where we're operating in a spiritually sophisticated, fun-loving, adventurous, loving, creative, responsible change agent. That's the new shifting that's taking place. That is coded divinity. Knowing without studying, the vibrational intuition, the gut feeling. This is a bioenergetic on a bio-direct. This is a direct awareness. It's going up against a artificial awareness. There is an inner world view that is going up against a linguistical programmed worldview, meaning that you get to select or you get to continue to move forward. What I am presenting and proposing is, I was talking with this weekend with my family and friends that we were going through how anything that I've started over the last, 20, 30 years has always been 5 or 10 years in advance. We was talking about, especially when me and my wife started our coffee shop, bookstore and learning center many, many years ago. And there wasn't the only thing out, Starbucks wasn't even, big time back then. And now there is we went to, me and the wife like going to mom and pop, coffee shops and to, sampling different coffee. I think my boy Richie Rich sent me some coffee from, I think it was Cambodia, Vietnam. And so, we like sampling different coffees. But back in the day when I was doing it, nobody was doing it. I think about when I started doing Dear Canary reports and personality reports, and now we got the human design system. We got all of these different things out. So I've always been 5 or 10 years. My son-in-law was telling me, like, we was talking about it. The wife was talking about it, and we were sharing how, like, man, if I'd have just stuck with it, we'd be doing pretty good right now, or better. So the point is, now I realize that I've let go of, and you may be, if you are in this space as well, you may be like myself. You may just be ahead of the curve because you've aligned your nervous system. You have embedded wisdom. Your language is intuition. Your language isn't English or Spanish or Puerto Rican. You speak intuition. You speak mind, heart, gut coherence. This is beyond language. This is the new alpha code. This is the new aura shifting. So Everything I'm saying, they call it JSON in the artificial world. It is a prompt. It is a algorithm. It is a code that creates the infrastructure for apps. What I am proposing, what I am building is spiritual apps. I've learned and I went through I've created about 10 artificial apps. And I've noticed that the artificial apps are built on reverse engineered spiritual applications. The ability for you to integrate spiritual applications. In addition to, it's not either or. You can use, like I do, I use the artificial applications to promote spiritual applications. I highly recommend you do the same. Now, whether you do it on the level or to the degree that I do, whether you want to monetize it, whether you want to turn that into a busyness or business, it's totally up to you. The point is, there's a separation that is taking place that the Bible talks about, the wheat from the tares. That's authentic versus artificial. Choose ye this day whom you will serve. You have to, they're going to force you, the orange Julius, especially in the United Demonic Disposition, the United States. I just finished the book and the audio on ICE. And I broke down the logo of ICE, and we went through. That course is a high-end course. I think I did that for $497. If you don't get it from me, do your own research on what's going on with the immigration and customs. You got to look at those two words. Look at the logo. It has 22 stars on it. Look at the eagle. It's not an eagle. Look at what the eagle has. It has 13 something in its claw. Look at the other claw. It has 13. Go back to the dollar bill. Beyond the ice wall, go back to Game of Thrones. Who was the Ice King in Game of Thrones? What were the Ice Walkers? Who was Jon Snow? It's right there in the logo. That's why that's why we have the logos. This is spiritual integration. My own personal life experience, my own personal education, my own personal spiritual giftedness allows me to operate in knowing without knowing. It gives me vibrational intuition. I have a gut, heart, mind coherence. I've aligned my nervous system with my thoughts. I've embodied the wisdom of God, which is the language of intuition, which allows me to be a receiver and a sender of divine feelings, which allows me to operate in a spiritually sophisticated, fun-loving, adventurous, loving, creative, compassionate, responsible manner. You have that same opportunity today to establish direct awareness where you have a divine connection with Source, where you are always in the Spirit. You never have to do mantras. You don't have to pray because you are now in an endless state where self-awareness and acceptance in the endless acts of self-betrayal. Right now, the average of the Cuban is in the state where they are in an endless act of self-betrayal because they lack trust and faith in themselves. So they are unknowingly choosing to be wheat and a tare, to be a tare instead of wheat. Meaning they're operating in the flesh instead of the spirit. But it's not religious. Who are you when you stop playing small? When you understand that as a spiritual integration specialist. You are integrating the attributes and characteristics of what we call the fruit of the Spirit. That just simply means that you take love, joy, peace, gentleness, meekness, self-control, because against such things there is no law. That means that you are outside of the code that uses letters, because you're now your language, you speak intuition now. You don't use letters. You don't use numbers. You don't use math. You don't use music. Now you are controlling the molecular biology with biblical wisdom instead of artificial intelligence. Now your DNA is divinity. Now you are outside of the algorithmic apocalypse that is taking place. Right now, people's algorithms is creating a biological apocalypse. What I'm proposing is engineering experiences that make you feel alive. Engineering experiences that makes you feel purposeful. Engineering, that means that you consciously choose experiences, books, videos, shows. You consciously choose. You're no longer allowing the dominant culture to put stuff in front of you and force you to eat it, to watch it, to taste it. You choose. So separation doesn't come from escape. Separation comes from refusing to feed their system with your attention. You withdraw your attention and you put it into your own invention of love, joy, peace, gentleness, meekness, self-control. Against such things there is no law. Now, if this was easy to do, I wouldn't be writing a book. I wouldn't have written a book and created a course. Again, the program is $97. We'll probably start it on September the 1st. It'll be 2 or 3 days. So again, like always, just make the payment at the website, masterteacher30.com. We'll probably pop it off instead of waiting. I might just go ahead and we'll probably just pop it off tomorrow or the next day. The point is, there is no more need of a belief in a religious emotionalism. It's not bad or it's not good, but it's external. Now you must operate from a space or a place of Matthew 6:9 and 6:33. Seek ye first the kingdom. This is again a faith-based monetization of your own personal education. So it doesn't require an app. It doesn't require artificial intelligence. It doesn't require voice cloning and AI and, all of the stuff that's coming out. Now, you develop your own personal system first, and then you're eligible to use. You must put calling before capitalism. If you don't put your calling before capitalism, then you will receive the wrong code. They're going to give you their code. Now, that code is bad, good, just their code. It's not yours. So the whole point of what I'm exposing, and expanding to you today, it is an individual, because you are an individual expression of God. No, this is your own cosmic vibrational blueprint. This is your own soul's resonance. This is your own coded divinity. This is your aura shifting code. This is the alpha code that we've discussed previously. So now that you understand that what's taking place right now is people can't oscillate and vibrate without artificial intelligence. We're going to see digital relationships. People are going to, and it's already out, I was looking at an app today, most young people, I know the people in my circle, nieces and nephews and cousins and stuff, under the age of 30 are married to their cell phone. You would have to shoot them to take their phone. This is the cell phone. This is the software. This is the silver tsunami. Meaning there is a silver code or cord, like in the movie The Silver Surfer of the Fantastic Four. It connects the soul to the body. Your job is to understand that the Bible says absent from the body, present with source code. So you have to align your mind with what I've been saying for 30, 40 years with your God-given design. So that just simply means that the algorithm is in your DNA. The molecular, your molecular, biological, divine language is inside of you. If you notice, all rely-ion systems are outside of you. So the Word of God is alive. It's inside of you. It's your molecular biology. So the Bible is the body, and the body is the Bible. So AI and artificial intelligence and large language models, they take language to mold minds, wills, emotions, imaginations, and intellect. It is a large language model. AI is dumbed down spirituality or dumbed down biology. Again, it's not bad, it's not good. You just got to understand that there's a higher frequency range of divinity that doesn't require language to create an algorithm, because spirituality is the algorithm. So now I'm a spirit. So my algorithm is spiritual. It cannot be biological. So I don't need to be engineered through language. I came into this world with an algorithm. I'm already programmed. So why would I allow language to program me, regardless of whose language it is? Now, that's the system. The system you was born, and you heard your mom and your dad, the reverend, the doctor, and the bishop, they created a uniform code of creation. They laid it on top of your already existing creation. Everybody was born into this death or this fear form that's based upon blood oaths and blood orgies and blood, cults and all of that stuff. That's prompt engineering. That's it. Somebody put a code in the body, but it wasn't authentic. It was artificial. So all I'm proposing to you is, now that we are aware that they use math, music, and language to control or to manipulate you. Again, it wasn't bad, it wasn't good, it was just the system. The way that the Nephilim, the way that whoever, just like I talked about in the series I just completed on S.I.S.E, and the series that I just went through and broke down the logo and the 22 letters that match up with the 22 stars on the Department of Defense, or the Department of I forgot the name of it, but anyway, that controls the Immigrations and Customs Enforcement Division, that matches up exactly with the ancient maps that show what is beyond the ice wall that's on the logo. When you go and just Google, S.I.S.E logo, or just get the book and listen to the series. But that's the point of it, you to underneath the Ice King, so that way you are frozen. Remember the movie Frozen, the little cartoon that talked about Frozen? Well, that's one movie, the Disney movie. Disney, for some folk, understand that the entire Disney world in Florida is built on top of old ancient, is a burial ground for, they call them, some people call them Native Americans, but the names was changed from Native Americans to colored, from colors to black to African Americans. But those natives, now that used to be a burial site. Now Walt Disney put a whole theme park on top of it, which gets into understanding and how they're able to channel. This is engineered dependency. This is soft tyranny. This is gaslighting for the purpose of harvesting your emotional labor, your emotional capacity. See, you're not the prisoner. You, the jailer, you put your own self in jail. You're addicted, not you personally, but people know you're addicted to feeling. So when we understand that we are the jailer, we put our own selves in jails. We put our own selves in jails. How do we do it? Through incantation. Leads to incarceration of your incarnation. You are God incarnate. But they gave you an incantation, a phrase, a word, a title, a label. You are black, you're white, you're male, you're female. You're a plumber, you're a doctor, you're a lawyer, you're a reverend. You're a Buddhist. You're an alchemist. You're a Baptist. They gave you these titles. They gave you these labels, and these labels are limits. This is engineered dependency, soft tyranny. The weapons of our warfare are not carnal, but they're mighty through God. The new plantation is digital. Digital slavery. The new slaves are digital slaves now. The inability to see that consciousness is a pattern, it's not a location. Same thing, the synagogue of Satan, the Jews who are not Jews, it's not a location. It's not over there in Israel. That's not the Jews. The real, true, God's true people, it's not a location. It's not even a people. It's a pattern. It's a consciousness. It's an awareness. It's an alignment with your assignment. That's God's people. They have aligned. They've integrated spirituality into biology. So what I'm proposing is how to integrate the Word of God with your truth, not mine, that you've discovered on your own personal spiritual journey. You figure this out on your own. No reverend, no doctor, no bishop required. You've come to this conclusion. You got personal, real life experience. Now I need you to really under, and understand what I'm about to say. Even what I'm doing right now, even though my intentions are good, it's dangerous from the perspective of you incorporating what I've said over what you've experienced. You can never take a man's words. You can never read a paragraph in a book. You can never watch a movie and allow the movie to move you beyond and outside of your lived real life experiences. The ability to integrate and embody. You must become the electrical magnetic body of what you've personally seen and witnessed. Show me the nail scars in your hands. Now is the time for courage over comfort, intention over survival. Vision must replace fear. It's time to release and stop becoming a prisoner of overthinking. Stop being loyal to your limits. Your loyalty must be based upon your life experiences. And integrating your life experiences, and this is the touchstone, this is the hallmark of greatness. The whole purpose of this course is to teach you what I've learned the hard way, how to integrate the Word of God and your truth. Because people have told you that your truth is not valid, but it is. Because your truth is based upon what you've discovered on your own spiritual journey. Now you got to weave that. You got to combine that with the Word of God and create a consistent, workable, vibrational prayer or mantra or permanent mental disposition that overrides all negative habit patterns because it's built on personal experience and not learned behavior. The difference between what I do for a living is I stand on personal, real life experience. There's always a ram in the bush. And no matter what happening in your life, no matter what's happening in your life, there's always a way of escape. Your job is to slow down and pay attention. Because attention is not free. You have to pay for it with your energy. The universe has already given you everything that you need for life and embodiment of wisdom. You are the electrical magnetic body of God. But it's inner. We have this treasure. The word treasure, as I talked about in the book and the audio, means knowledge that has been accumulated through personal experience. That's the word treasure. We have this knowledge that we've experienced, this knowledge that we've accumulated through personal experience. We have it. You got it. I got it. But people tell you that we have this treasure hidden in earthen vessels. What is this treasure? Christ in you. So Christ is the messianic office that furnishes the person in that office with power to gather personal purposes. That's your, the treasure is your real life. What have you been through? What have you learned? What have you seen? How many jobs have you had? How many relationships have you been in? How many cities have you seen and traveled? How many obstacles have you overcome? How many mistakes have you made? All of those life experiences, booyah, that's your treasure. So you cannot replace real life learned behavior with artificial intelligence. That's what the dominant culture is promoting. Go to ChatGPT, forget your gut, forget your heart, forget your head, exchange it. Instead of using direct awareness, vibrational intuition, gut feeling, and we're just going to type in a prompt in ChatGPT and we're going to roll with that. Your job is to oscillate and vibrate in a space or in a place where you're able to integrate your own spirituality. How do we integrate it? Well, in the course, we're going to go through what the Bible calls the fruit of the Spirit. And I've always had a head knowledge. And it wasn't until I got to this level of awareness where I've had to now, because everything that was working from the perspective of wealth, health, wisdom, and relationships no longer works. It's not working anymore. So I had to go through what I call frequency healing. Now, again, this is deep shiznits. So frequency healing is this sound or this vibration, this frequency, this wave, this vibe, this verb that promotes emotional and mental well-being. This is the spiritual and the psychological benefits of taking what you have experienced and analyzing it and asking yourself, how does this affect my sympathetic nervous system. How did this experience make me feel? What did I feel? See, we are inducing resonance. We are stimulating our nervous system positively and negatively. This is what I talked about when I broke down the collapse of the vagus nerve. You have the ability to activate rest and digestion, or you have the ability to activate stress and rejection. You have the ability to influence your brain wave patterns. You can shift your brain wave activity simply by changing your focus and your thoughts, by operating in the fruit of the Spirit: love, joy, peace, gentleness, meekness, self-control. Against those things, nobody can mess with you. So now the quest that we're embarking upon is, how do we establish those states? What states? Love, joy, peace. So this is sound. So the purpose of the course is to teach you how to create and take a sound bath. How do you bathe your own cells or yourself? How do you immerse yourself in sound cymatics? So when you take a sound bath, it's the same thing as what the Bible calls praying without ceasing. Now again, a lot of people have a lot of different rhetoric, but it's not based upon real life experiences. That's what the word baptismo means, a baptism. So the ability for you to be able to give yourself your own sound bath, to immerse yourself in your own, let's use the word meditative practice, to be able to establish love, joy, peace, gentleness, meekness as the normal frequency. That's the fruit of the Spirit. So you have to bathe yourself in the sound of the fruits or the fruit of the Spirit: love, joy, peace, gentleness, meekness, goodness, gentleness, self-control, all that good stuff. But we got a conundrum. Again, this is our rhetoric. Now, rhetoric is not bad. Talking is not bad. But the problem with talking is it doesn't lead, in a lot of cases, to implementation. When you need it, something happens. What happens? You respond before you think. Somebody cut you off in traffic. What the f? You go off. A loved one transitions. You go into a bill shows up. So the inability to take a pause break. That pause break, I call it a praise break. Another word for praise break, way back in the day when I created what I called my self-talk. A praise break is the ability for you to, before, this is important, before, because the whole purpose of the dominant culture is to get you addicted to feeling inferior. The purpose of the class and everything I'm doing is to get you addicted to feeling superior or feeling spiritual. How do you become addicted to feeling superior or addicted to feeling, for my church folks, spiritual? Well, you're not willing to give up your feeling of being one with Source, where you are totally immersed in your spirituality. And I ain't talking religion. Remember, religion is dead. Religion doesn't work. Well, I already tried it. Y'all want to try it? Okay, knock yourself out, bro. Been there, done that. I got 2 t-shirts already. Because religion is a belief system that tells you what you should believe. Spirituality is a belief system that focuses on what you already believe. Religion focuses on what you should believe. Spirituality focuses on what you already believe because you already experienced it. So it comes through faith that is developed from real life experiences. Now, you can add the faith that comes from hearing along with the faith that comes from doing. So it's a combination of both. Like the Bible says, faith without works is dead. So we not only do we want to read and watch movies and all, that's awesome. I'm not saying that you don't do that. I'm saying that after you finish, get up and implement it. So I'm talking about a workable, implementable spirituality, a belief system. I'm talking about establishing your own spiritual practice, your own spiritual modality that's based upon your own spiritual experiences, not mine, not the reverends, not the doctors, not the bishops. Sure, you can take other people's, let's use the word, experiences into consideration. That's awesome. However, my brother, at the end of the day, you have to be the only one that determines how you play. And the way that is done is this process that I've learned over the years of integration. Now, to become an integration specialist, you have to really tap into this power or this ability to do something that very few people can do. Very few people, can integrate, combine. I've integrated cosmology, theology, and biology. Let me say it again. Very few people can combine one thing with another thing, so that the way that one thing becomes a whole thing. The ability to integrate cosmology, theology, biology, come on, preacher, changes the world. Now, when your back is up against the wall, your worldview is beyond math, music, and language because it's cosmic. You have cosmology. Then you also got the word. You got theology, and you sprinkle in cellular biology, the molecular structure. You know how the body works on a molecular level. You know what that does to the brain? That gives you a mental disposition that says, I wish a... Now, remember, it's dangerous because you're going to be the Lone Ranger. Everybody else is going to be freaking out. And when everybody else is freaking out, your job is to, especially if you're married or you're in a relationship, because your mate is going to be like, they're going to be freaking out because they're not on the same level unless y'all do it together, which I highly recommend. But it's almost, because remember, there wasn't a conference call when God called you. So as I've learned, I have to extend grace to my wife because my wife is not called to walk on this level of awareness or crazy, because it is. Because you define logic. What I'm telling you to do is to defy logic. I'm telling you that when there is no way, there's a way. I'm telling you. I didn't read it in a book. I didn't make it up. It's not make believe. My life is a miracle. During this class, I may share some of the miracles that I've been experiencing over the last 2 years. You will not believe it. If I tell you, you will not believe it. Because the people I've told it to, They didn't believe it. I had to show them documentation and proof. It's like this weekend when my wife's mother, her grandmother, transitioned. We had family and friends down from out of town, and they were here, and they didn't believe. I had to show them proof of my age. They're like, nope, I don't believe you. Everybody said, nah, he's about 40, 43. Yeah, you might add 20 years to that, bro. They were like, no way. Show me the nail scars in your hand. Everything from wealth, health, wisdom, everything that I do in my life is a miracle. I wish, that's why I get so excited, but that's why when people actually, everybody tell me the same thing, they, damn, dude, you should be a household name. You should be on TV. Why didn't your message? I was talking to it was like, and I may do this. This old client of mine was like, you should do a Dear Canal Diaries and bring people on and interview them that have purchased your Dear. She was just so excited about wanting to share with other people how the Dear Canal Report, she was just give me a testimony of how Dear Canal Report changed her life. And I was like, yeah, it changed mine too. She's like, well, this thing should be selling like hotcakes. Like everybody should be, like, yeah, they should be. I'm like, how come? She's like, well, I'll be the first. I may do, live. So if anybody's interested, just let me know. So I'll put you on the list. And if there is enough people that, you purchased a Dear Canal Report from me from back in the day and it was instrumental in changing your life or setting your own direction or just helping you process information, if there's been any benefit, let me know, because I may interview you and put you in. I don't know if I'm just going to do it live or do a recording, but I'm still, kind of molding it over. Because I've had a lot of good, this is Sister Ellen's contact me on Facebook as well, and was sharing and talking about the Dear Canal reports and how it was instrumental in her life as well. So that's a praise report. That's a praise break. That's how you build and you integrate spirit, by taking something that you've learned. I learned it and I put it into a system. All I did was I didn't know what to do. And I was like, Big G, help me find out what to do. What is my purpose? What is my reason for waking up every morning? I had a job, I had businesses, I did all this stuff, but I didn't have something that was bigger than me. I thought it was football and sports. And then that got, knee injuries and just didn't have the size and speed, blah, blah, blah. So that wasn't my purpose. I was not born to play football. So what was I born to do? I was born to communicate in a compassionate manner to bring about total awareness. How do I know? I know. I don't wish, Brother George, I don't pray about this, brother. Brother Rich, I don't pray about when I wake up in the morning. Brother Mitch, I don't have to ponder, my brother. I know, Brother Mitch. How do I know? It's in my numbers. It's in my name. It's in my date of birth. It's in the month that I was born. It tells me specifically. And I implemented it, and it's been working for the 60 plus years I've been on this planet. Now, is my pockets always full of money? Absolutely not. Am I always in divine health? Absolutely not. Am I always the smartest man in the room? Absolutely not. My marriage and my relationship is absolutely great? Absolutely not. But when it's not, I know exactly how to get it back on track by implementing the so that when we went this weekend and I was talking with my kids, and me and the wife went down my this is my youngest daughter's transition, so I have 2 and 2 now. Had 5, but then my bonus kids, if you want to use that term, gives me a total of 7. And I was just so thankful, Brother Rich. Brother Rich, I was sitting there in my daughter's house. She's about to I mean, her house is, my house is sharp, nice, but her house. Then I went over to my other daughter's house, and I'm looking at the cars, and my son, both of my sons, and I'm just so thankful, Brother Mitch. I was like, damn, I must have did something right. I must have did something right. All my kids are doing magnanimous. They're doing great, Brother Rich. I'm so thankful. Nobody's in jail. Nobody's thrown out on drugs. Nobody's getting beat. You know, none of my grandkids are, got issues. It's like, man, my legacy. Your family is your first ministry. And then now, my second marriage, and Alex and I'm seeing that, what they're doing, and the legacy is continuing. I think about all of the people that I've had a positive impact on. That's spiritual integration. Spiritual integration is for you to develop a system that will help you, and then you share that same system with everyone else. And now that we got artificial intelligence, I can build an app, or I can build a website. I can build a complete ecosystem. I've done a few of them already. I've done one for, Sister Coleman. I've done one for Sister Dr. Martinet. I've done one for Sister Cheryl West. Complete 12 modules, 5 books, 10 books, 30 books, 100 books, whatever you want. We can take your life and your life experiences and turn it into a complete online ecosystem, a business that helps other people the same way it benefits you. That's the purpose of this class, is to turn your life into cash. The purpose of this class is to turn your life into cash. Cost $97 for the book and the audios. We'll keep it short and sweet, maybe no more about 3 days. It's a lot of informing, but all we're going to do is just take your life, turn it into cash. Again, just go to the website, masterteacher30.com, click on the link that says donation, make the one-time payment of $97. And I wasn't going to wait till but it was started Thursday. And you still waiting. Let's get this party started. Man, I love you. Appreciate you. Thank everybody for tuning in. We'll see you when we see you. God bless.